Yo, what up, though? Streetlordz Rook, OG in the building, man. Detroit royalty. You know what I'm saying? The Spike Lee of the city right now, going crazy. New movie out right now on Amazon, man.
Yeah.
It's one more lick, right?
No, one more flip.
One more flip.
Yeah,
one more flip. I said one more lick. Always trying to rhyme something. Talk about the movie, man. Like, it's out now, man. Like, what? Sada Baby in the movie. Royce the 5'9" in the movie. Who else in there, boy?
Payroll Giovanni
Payroll.
in the movie. Mina Moreau in the movie. It's a lot of hot up-and-coming actors in the movie. Like, from around the city, you probably seen them in some other, well, if people seen some other Detroit projects.
Got you.
A few of the artists are in there. The comedian Jackpot the Juice is in, he's a part of the production also. So yeah, man, it's it's been work, man. You know, I've been kind of doing film for quite some time. I got a great team of staff guys who shot my film. They shot Power, they've shot Empire.
Got you.
So it doesn't look like a Detroit film. Like,
got you.
Like, or that stigma they try to say, oh, that's a Detroit film or a low budget film, but it doesn't look like that.
You know what? I've heard the term Detroit film for the first time yesterday. He's like, bro, it ain't one of them Detroit movies. And I was like, what the hell is a Detroit movie? But I didn't realize, because Cash Doll name came up about the sex scene in the BMF
movie, yeah.
He was like, man, she looked good, but her acting is still like them Detroit movies. And I'm like, wait, what's the Detroit movies? I didn't know it was other movies out here like that. It's
a lot of different Detroit movies that's popping. It's a lot of different people making films in the city.
Got you.
You know, I support them. Hats off to them. It's a lot of people trying to do some constructive things. So, hats off to those people.
Got you, man. Like, with this movie, man, what do you think makes this movie special that people should go tap in? What can they expect by going to see this movie on Amazon?
It's real. That's the main thing. Like, it's real, and it has a positive message throughout the story. Like,
Got you.
And granted, I've done advertising on Facebook because this is all independent. It's all me. I put up all the money. I've been making it happen. People always got a stigma about when African Americans is trying to do something. Oh, it's just another black movie about blacks killing blacks or something negative to say rather than to look at the bigger picture where whoever's making the project, these individuals are working and doing something constructive that may be keeping them out of the streets or out of doing something negative. So I've probably put a ton of negative stuff in the atmosphere. A lot of people looked up to me. I rapped about getting money. I was indicted for making $40 million in like a 10-month span for selling marijuana. Like, at the time, we had the biggest marijuana conspiracy in Michigan history. So I put a lot of negativity into the world. So now I'm trying to put some positive in where I can maybe change a few people, because all of that shit that got started from Cartier glasses, I mean, you can do your history, do your research, and they'll find out it came from the Streetlordz. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just saying it. I mean, you can pull up some videos. I mean, you pull up the Come Roll with a nigga video with Blade Icewood. You pull up any of the Streetlordz shit, and you'll find out the influence that we had on the Detroit rap culture, period. So it's a great thing to see guys like Big Sean, Sada Baby, Vezzo, Babyface Ray,
Man.
All the Detroit guys doing their thing, because I know our music has probably had an influence on them in some type of way, shape, form, or fashion.
Absolutely. Had to.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get that journey, man, back in time, because, I don't know if you know how excited I am, you know what I'm saying, being in Detroit, growing up in Detroit. My whole high school, college experiences, Cheddar Boys, Streetlordz, Rock Bottom, you know what I'm saying, that whole era, you know what I'm saying. I still ride through Dallas and they with the down, the do. I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, you can't can't tell me nothing. I'm proud of that heritage. So I'm so happy to sit down and get to relive this moment with somebody that actually lived it.
Yeah.
So take me back, Streetlordz, to the beginning, man. Like, you growing up in Detroit, what was it like you coming up, and what part of Detroit were you in?
I grew up on the west side. I'm from P-Rock. You know, they said don't worry about what we cop. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I originally grew up at, you know. But the Streetlordz, it was mostly like my cousins and family. And like Blade, our parents used to kind of run together. And Juan, you know, G-Rock. So it's always like a family thing. Like, it was all love. Like, we wasn't really all cousins, but we damn near all was close and grew up since kids. And we just come together, and it gelled. I think the competitiveness from each individual made that group something. That was the dope part about it, like being competitive. Like, everybody trying to get their dope verse together so they can get on the tracks. And then throughout that process, we was really getting money. Like, it wasn't like we just rapping about it. Like, a lot of guys today, they might start rapping and then obtain some money from their raps.
Yeah.
We was really getting millions of dollars at a very young age, rapping about it. Whereas, like, I made millions of dollars at a very young age.
When do you think the first time you touched $1 million? How old were you? The first time you physically seen it?
Sure, I was like 18. As soon as I graduated high school, I had probably like $1 million. I had scholarships to play ball, college football, and it was just like, man, I wanted to get money. Like, I needed some money right then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up, you know, my mom my mother went to trial versus the feds, and she won. You know, my stepdad been to the feds twice. My dad went to the feds twice for selling drugs. I come from a long line of drug dealers.
Got you.
Like, ain't nobody in my family probably ever had a job. So, like, today, I'm trying to, like, break the cycle. You know what I mean? I got kids. You know, now granted, a lot of people might think I did something great from dealing drugs, you know, like, oh yeah, they made all this money, they the popular guys, and like our street reputation kind of precede us. But to be honest, that ain't something I'm proud of today, you know. Like, my biggest moment in life is like, I got kids who graduated college. You know, my oldest daughter graduated from Michigan State. I got a daughter at Michigan State right now that's a senior. I got a daughter that got accepted to Harvard and Stanford. You know what I'm saying? My daughter go to Stanford.
Wow.
And I got 2 little kids. So it's like, to me, that's the biggest accomplishment. You know, like, her mother had a baby young, you know what I'm saying, in high school.
Yeah.
Her dad went to federal prison, but she's been able to overcome all the obstacles and still get accepted into Harvard and Stanford and go on and still be an all-A student. So that's my biggest accomplishment. To me, all the drugs I sold, making movies is nothing. It's just like to provide something where my kids ain't got to go through what I went through.
So this is definitely a testament, man. Like, and coming from that, because I know we do live in, I think American culture has always kind of glorified the renegade. I mean, you look back in like Billy the Kid, and you know, we always the mobsters. You know, with y'all BMF now. You know what I'm saying? We always glorified that life. We like to be close. People who don't live in danger like to feel like they're close to it.
It's like a fascination with gangster.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I grew up, like, you know, my parents was gangsters. Like, I was fascinated by gangster movies. You know, like I love Scarface. I love Goodfellas. All the gangster shit, I was gravitating to it. You know, attracted to it. I remember my mom teaching me, like, no matter what's going on, you don't talk to the cops about nothing. And I was probably about 6 or 7 years old when I was first told that, like, you don't never make no statements. And, you know, that was how she was probably raised. You know, my family, they was bootlegging liquor, starting riots in the 60s. So I come from,
you know,
the worths of hustling. Like, but you know, I've also got some great family members that's done some positive things. So I'm trying to transition and teach my kids and break the cycle. You know, that's what it's really about, breaking the cycle.
Got you. So was it your parents that introduced y'all to the game, or did you and your crew just kind of, how did you get into it?
Honestly, you know, I seen drug dealing as a kid. I seen drug abuse as a kid. Like I've been to NAAA meetings with my mother and not my dad, but he wasn't around because he had went to the feds. He had caught time. He got addicted to drugs. You know, people from that era, they sold drugs, they used drugs. So I've seen both sides of it. So today, like, I don't smoke or drink. You know, I'm from the era where doing drugs wasn't cool. Like, I sold drugs. I ain't never been no person to use no motherfucking drugs. Like, I don't get down like that.
No, I got you.
That ain't cool with me.
So if you can explain to me, and I always want to know this, and maybe it's a dumb question, maybe the entire world already know this, but what is the difference between Streetlordz and Cheddar Boys?
All right, I'll give this example. Like, we was original Streetlordz Cheddar Boys. You know what I'm saying? We did our thing. This ain't no disrespect to the East Side guys, you know. Bless Wipeout and his family. God bless the dead, you know. Bless my man, Icewood. But the Streetlordz Cheddar Boys was first. You know what I'm saying? We started rapping first. We was doing our thing first. They was cool. You know what I'm saying? The East Side Cheddar Boys was cool. And it wasn't no beef, and then everybody was cool. If you go listen to their first CD, you hear Blade on their CD, you hear Streetlordz Jesse James on their CD. It was all love. What happened where it was an incident where Blade and Wipeout got into it. It wasn't no big ordeal where they was gonna fall out or kill each other. It was just some misunderstanding. Like, Blade had nothing to do with Wipeout getting killed. It wasn't like they were at no super beef, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate the things that happened in that thing. Like, Blade got shot when I was in federal prison. Like, as soon as I turned in federal prison the first time, he got shot. I was only in jail 10 days when Blade got shot the first time. And then, you know, I had a cell phone in jail. I wound up doing some extra time having a cell phone in jail. But I talked to Blade the night before he died. You know what I'm saying? We on the phone. He was telling me about Blood, Sweat, and Tears at the time. Like, yeah, man, this shit dope, man. It's the dopest shit I did, man. By the time y'all get out, we gonna have a deal, man. I'm telling you, nigga, this shit going crazy out here. And we was joking. He like, yeah, man, I'm like you. Because he had got shot up, he was paralyzed. And like, I can't get no pussy right now. That was a joke, man. Like, so we laughing. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking to him on the cell phone. And I'm like, nigga, you ain't like me. You probably out there sucking pussy like a motherfucker. Because, you know, Blade a silly motherfucker. So we laugh and joke. We get off the phone. He like, man, I love you, man. I'm telling you, nigga, it's on when you get home. I'm like, man, I love you too. And the next day, I get a call from this girl on my little cell phone I had in jail, and she was going to school to be an attorney in Florida. So she called me, and she screaming at the top of her lungs, she crying. She like, Blade just got killed. Blade just got killed. Like, no, stupid Blade straight. I just talked to that nigga last night. You don't know, he got shot back in September, but I just talked to that nigga last night. And she like, no, he just got killed right now. And she crying and screaming. And then my line clicked. And it's my girl cousin. It's her and my daughter's mother. My daughter will go to Stanford mother. They screaming to the top of their lungs. And they like, Blade dead. I'm looking at him right now. They killed him. And me and Blade brother was in the feds together. So I'm sitting right here where I'm at. He's sitting right where you at, where I had to tell him, like, we got to call home. They said Blade got killed. And I remember this shit like, it does still feel like in a daze or like in a trance. It's because I give him the cell phone. He started calling everybody. He calling his dad, his mom, his brother, and ain't nobody. He called his wife, ain't nobody answer. And then I remember his brother answered the phone, and he was like, saying ain't so, man. And he was like, he gone. And it was just like a silence. Like we left out the room, we put the cell phone up, and we just went to walk the track. Like, damn, like disbelief. Like we can't believe it happened because we in like federal prison and ain't like shit we can do about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like, damn, like what to do? Like you can't do nothing. And from the moment that down there we kind of like went to jail, it was just like when me and Bill turned to jail, we turned in on the same day. So it was like, I ain't saying it's like with no arrogance, but it was kind of like we was like some celebrities. Like, cause when I turned into jail, I got to the prison before him. We self-surrendered. So it was a guy taking us in R&D. He was like, "Hey man, is you Rook or is you Blade? I mean, is you Rook or is you Bill?" And, you know, at the time, I'd never been in prison. I'd never been arrested for shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like, man, how the fuck you know my name, dog? Who is you? Like, did the police see you? Like, what's going on? And he like, nah, man, everybody know y'all coming to jail today. They having a party for you. It's gonna be big boy cook-ups. That's what he kept saying. Y'all gonna have some big boy cook-ups. What the fuck is a cook-up? You know, I ain't been in no motherfucking jail. So when I get in and there, you know, shit, we popular niggas in the city, we run shit. So it's a bunch of homeboys already there looking out like, hey, yeah, nigga, we doing it big tonight. So it was kind of like a thing when we got there, but it was just like a fucked up feeling.
Yeah.
Being in the feds. And while I'm in there, my homeboy just getting killed over some bullshit. And then you find out like, damn, he ain't shit to do with it. Like, he ain't got nothing to do with it. Like, I've seen DVDs on YouTube that tell all this crazy shit that so far from the fucking truth. It's like, this shit ridiculous. But we got plans to do, I'm gonna do a series, a TV series called The Lord. So the public will really get the story about the Streetlordz, you know. It may get done sometime next year or the year after that, but it's in the making. You know? Then we got documentary coming, so people can really know the real. Like, we've done songs with everybody at the time who was hot, from Shine to Benny Siegel, Freeway, E40, Be Legit, Baby, Juvie. We rock with Mario Winans, Carl Thomas, Stevie J. In that era, like, we really lived that shit. Like Capone and Nori, we lived it, you know. So it's all coming to fruition. Like, we are the ones that's still living, because a lot of them passed away. My cousin Yacht, who started the Streetlordz shit, he passed away like year before last. Like, it's going on it'll be 2 years shortly.
Now, how many of y'all was it rapping in Streetlordz?
It was originally 5 of us, and then it was a few more that came about. Like,
okay, so it was you, Juan.
It's me, Juan, O, Jesse, and Vito. And then Fat Mike, then G-Rock.
Okay.
And, you know, Baby L. It was growing. Like, KDZ, I can't leave DZ out. KDZ, you know.
So then Rock Bottom come along. Was there ever a beef with y'all in Rock Bottom? Like, what happened? Because I asked Herc about it. He was just, you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, it's just a misunderstanding. Well, what was it?
It was like, I won't call it a beef, because it never was nothing that would be something physical. But I think it's, you know, we had that competitiveness. You know, it was Streetlordz, it was Rock Bottom. So they honestly got into their rap thing where they had diss records. Nobody never dissed me, you know, so it's cool. It's cool. It's competitive, you know. Even today, people are like, oh, we wanted to hear the Streetlordz Rock Bottom verses.
That would be hard, though, just for the city. Like, if somebody put that together just for the culture, that shit will go crazy. Yeah,
I mean, people have been talking about it. I've gotten several calls about it. Maybe it's something we can do in the near future, you know.
Yeah, do that joint like at Fox, or, you know, just rain somewhere.
We
do
it somewhere real nice and have an event for the people. I think it'd get the city to come out. I think it'd be a nice event for the city. I think it'd bring people together in a positive manner.
And then at that time, You know, Trick had his goon squad.
Yeah, Trick had Goon Squad.
And I remember them days going to high school and be like, oh man, Trick Daddy came here, they broke his arm. And anybody, man, what was the name of that club Trick them had? Was it Blue something?
I mean, you know, Club Blue has been that was part of the reason we never got in trouble. One of my co-defendants was gonna buy the Club Blue, and that was part of the indictment. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, so there was a lot of stuff went on behind the scenes when we making tons of money, where jewelers started cooperating with the government.
Yeah.
Car places was cooperating, and a lot of different people cooperated.
Let's go into it, because like you said, indicted. You one of the biggest marijuana indictment, or just indictment in the state of Michigan
at that time. I think it's been a guy bigger after that. It was a few guys bigger. May have had something bigger after that, but.
And the feds at the time said you touched how much money at that time altogether?
They said we did like 40 million in 10 months.
40 million.
No.
And do you feel like that was an accurate number, or was it a little off because it was more or less?
The number probably was really accurate, because they said if we sold 40,000 pounds of marijuana in a 10-month span, so they indicted us on a very short period of time. So, but it wasn't probably as elaborate as they tried to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the news, they're gonna stretch it, but it really was. If you look at 40,000 pounds at the time, we selling weed like $1,000 a pound. But so yeah, those numbers are kind of accurate.
Got you.
But to say over a 10-month span, we probably sold way more weed than that at the time. But it wasn't just collective, like one person sold all of this weed, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, those numbers, I mean, we were making millions of dollars, I'll tell you that for sure.
Did you know the indictment was coming?
All right, look, my cousin got indicted first. So I'm on the 5th superseding indictment.
Okay.
So when my cousin got indicted, I knew it was potential I could be indicted, because we talk pretty much every day.
Gotcha.
And but I'm probably a lot more reserved than he was, and a lot of other people who got indicted. Like, really not. I never really kind of been no attention or.
So it's always the flashiness, like that, always get people, for the most part, bammed up on the radar. You think that's what?
It definitely gets you on the radar. I can't say it gets you bammed up, because you're gonna be on the radar, but if you don't make no mistakes and don't nobody get caught, then you probably won't get bammed up. But if you become to stick out like a sore thumb, eventually somebody gonna get bammed up, and somebody gonna tell, and you know, eventually it's gonna come crumbling down. Like, man, I don't care what the fuck you doing, bro. If you doing something illegal, it's always gonna be a motherfucker that's gonna tell.
Always gonna tell.
Always gonna be a motherfucker that flip.
How many of y'all were indicted?
Shit, 23.
How many flipped? How many wrote statements?
Most of them told.
Damn. So if you would have put a percentage, what percentage of people told?
I would have to go back over the numbers, but the majority, I would say it was more than 50% told, for sure. For sure. Like, I was indicted with people I didn't even know. Like, out of them 23 motherfuckers, like, I never got no drugs from them, sold no drugs to them. If they walked in this room right here, some of the motherfuckers I never knew. And you know, as a kid, I was a young kid getting all this money, so I ain't really know about how the feds work, even though I was rapping about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm rapping about ducking the feds and how I'm getting all this money. It's gonna be a slap on the wrist because it's marijuana. But I ain't know how the government work. I don't think the government is fair. I mean, the whole justice system, like, this is the realest shit, is not fair at all, because it's ran by human beings. And human beings, they lie. Yep. So it's not a fair system. Like, you gotta think, the person who doing the crime, he gonna lie so he don't get caught. But the police, they lie like a motherfucker to try to make it stick. So how can it be fair if the police is lying to make something stick? And then at the end of the day, they rewarding a person to say you did something.
Yeah.
So if you tell a person he gonna get 15 years if he don't tell on this person, but if he tell on this person, he could get 7. Shit, what you think most of the people gonna do?
Yeah.
It's a reward. Like, it's not a fair justice system on that level. And then they come with this shit called conspiracy. Like, I never got caught with no drugs. I never been in no raid. None of that shit. And I went to federal prison. Like, I never been in a raid. I never been arrested or nothing. And I went to federal prison, bro.
Because that conspiracy can blanket a lot of people that you ain't even caught. Like, it's just a...
Yeah, the laws probably changed a little bit since I've been to federal prison because I've been home 14 years.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? But I went to jail solely on some people saying I was in charge, or like I had the trucks, I orchestrated the truckloads, and not no proof or nothing, like none of that. I went to jail solely on hearsay, bro.
Break down that logistics though, like moving that much product throughout the city. Like, how did y'all keep up with how much came in, where it goes? Like that.
Man, all right, look, I'm gonna give you this example. If I was able to put what I did on the resume as a drug dealer, I should be able to go run forward because it wasn't nothing but a logistic business to me. Bro, the government says we made $40 million in a 10-month span. You can't tell me that those qualifications are not good enough to run a regular business. I just can't put it on a resume to say I should be able to run Ford or GM. We orchestrated the truckloads. We orchestrated getting it to and from. We orchestrated dodging the robbers and the killers. And we orchestrated dodging the police.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we be experienced enough to run a real business where we didn't have to duck the police, the robbers, and the killers, and it was all on board?
That's real. Damn. It's real. I always said, like, I was like, if I had the choice to hire anybody that had a criminal past, it would be a drug dealer. I couldn't do a scammer.
No.
I can't do somebody that steals.
Yeah.
This just doesn't benefit me. Unless I was a company that was trying to target how to not get scammed, and then I could probably bring you in. But a drug dealer could come and work anything logistic. If you're trying to figure out how to get product in, how to get it out, and get it to people, although it's dangerous and it was a quote unquote illegal, it's a real life trade skill for sure.
Man, imagine how I feel right now. I got a felony, only felony on my record, bro, for distributing marijuana. Where today, the same thing that I went to federal prisons for, they let Cookies open up a store and sell marijuana legally. What's the difference? But I got a felony that I can't get expunged. I've been home 14 years, bro. I ain't been in no trouble. I own legitimate businesses. I have not been in no trouble other than I beat up somebody before. But I can only get my federal felony expunged if it's pardoned by the president.
Why? Because it's federal.
Because it's federal. But
if it was state, then the governor.
If it was state, I would have been expunged. I've been home 14 years, no trouble.
You ain't hit Trump up, man, when he was in?
Man, honestly, I thought about it, but it's like, man, I feel like over the next 5 to 10 years, it'll be legal federal, and they'll be trying to give me some reparation and remove it. But it's still the time that they took away from me, from my family, the money they took, how they changed me and my friends' lives. They can never give us our money back or replace
that time.
That time.
For sure. But they can sure try. You make them try with that paper.
You gotta think they done took us from Africa and brought us over here, and they ain't gave us nothing in all these years.
Facts.
I ain't gonna wait on that.
No, for sure. Like right now, the BMF series is going off, and y'all doing y'all thing with like the hustling and y'all making y'all money. Did y'all ever cross paths with people from BMF?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know a lot of people from BMF.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people from BMF. Man, people gonna be mad at me if I say this, but I'll be honest, man. When the Streetlordz was popping, you ain't really hear about BMF. That shit kind of came a little after we got indicted. Not to say that they wasn't getting money or they wasn't balling out of control, but it wasn't like people was yelling around there. They want to be BMF. It was like, I want to be a street lord. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a street lord Cheddar boy. Like, if you go ask certain people, back then, motherfucker wanted a STL chain, not a BMF chain. And there's no knock on BMF or none of that. I'm just being honest. And if you ask anybody from my era or what was going on then, if they keep it 100, which a lot of people will, they'll tell you. Like, this ain't bullshit. I ain't making up no facts. Like, this real talk.
Okay. Because honestly, I didn't really hear, not that I'm in the streets or nothing, but I never really heard of BMF until, I want to say maybe I was a freshman in college. So this is like 2002, 2003. I know a couple people that was part of BMF that went down. But then the real attention on them was when the indictment came and they was like, man, they rolling everybody through the hood, people getting snatched up.
Yeah, see that? I got indicted in 2002, so.
Yeah, okay.
So, like I said, like that was a big thing after we kind of got in trouble.
Got you.
So, but, you know, hats off to them guys. I got mad love, respect for them. Like I said, Meech T, the way they ran that empire, they could have ran Ford, GE, you know what I'm saying? So, I think it translates, you know. And I wish those guys the best, you know what I'm saying? Like, I talked to Tony's, you know, I know a lot of those guys, you know.
Gotcha.
A lot of those guys, I know them very well. So, you know, it's nothing but love for those guys. I wish them the best. Hope they show do great, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever keep the money for them and keep people positive and out of jail, you know, that's what I'm all about. But
speaking of positivity, like, well, or maybe a lack of, we're in the era right now. I don't know. People always try to compare like this generation to your generation coming up in hip hop. And a lot of people feel like this generation of hip hop is more dangerous than y'all's when it comes in regards to being a rapper. That people, it seems like more rappers are getting killed more often, more frequently now than back in the day. Do you think that's the case, or do you think it's just because of social media and technology, we get information so much faster now? It appears to seem more?
I personally think it's just technology. Like, all of the stuff that's happening now, how we know about the George Floyds and all of that stuff been going on. Black people still been getting killed for years and years and years, but you were able to hide it because nobody had cameras. It wasn't cell phone. It wasn't no Twitter. It wasn't no Instagram.
Right.
Where if somebody got killed in a small town in Minnesota 20 years ago, it just was in Minnesota. Where today, it's around the world and whenever somebody uploaded.
Yep.
So I don't think it's no different than 20 years ago on people getting killed, rappers getting killed. You got to think, I know a lot of Detroit rappers that's gotten killed or shot that probably got no publicity. But, you know, we live in a short attention span world. So the negativity is promoted probably at a much higher rate. Like, you got several blogs that just caters to negative news. Really, all news stations cater to negativity. But yeah, so
because if you think even in a movie is not a movie unless it has some type of conflict in the movie.
That's correct.
It has to be something that somebody go through and triumph. That's why we're watching it. If we watch a movie where nothing ever happened and then the end.
Yeah, nah, like people thrive off negativity. Yeah. So I don't think it's more dangerous. I think like people been getting killed over drugs for the last 30, 40 years. You know what I'm saying? If you go back to look at the murder rates they still high.
Gotcha.
Like, they high all around the country where it's poor people. It's high. Like, I'm gonna give you this fact. Like, this is the truth. People say money is the root of all evil. That's a goddamn lie. And I'll tell you why. You could take $1 billion and you could sit it in that corner right there, and that shit ain't gonna do nothing.
At all.
Ain't nothing gonna happen to it. You can leave and come back. That $1 billion gonna be there as long as nobody know about it. But if you tell some people about that $1 billion in that corner over there, watch the evil that people will do to get that $1 billion. It ain't the money that's the root of all evil. It's the evil that people will do to get the money.
You say the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not the
I
money.
don't even think it's love. People don't love it because people, you see most people who rob and do bad shit for money, they blow it. And then they be looking for the next lick, so they can't love the money because they give it away freely.
Gotcha.
Motherfuckers who hit licks run to the strip club, they go buy a car with all of the money that they did the bullshit to get, they damn near give it away. So I can't say that's love.
It's just the people.
Yeah,
it's real.
It's the evil that people do to get the money. It ain't.
I look at it like right now, being you got the record out right now with Sada and with Payroll.
Okay.
When dealing, because Detroit's so hot and there's so many artists that's on, but we also see like a lot of the artists' beef get displayed publicly. How do you stay neutral with working with guys? Because I saw an interview with 21 Savage with DJ Academics, and they were talking about 21's like, man, if I got a relationship with Dirk, I'm not going to do a song with Youngboy. He said, I'm closer with Drake, so I probably wouldn't do a song with Kanye. He said, if something already happened in the street, he's like, if ain't no blood been spilled or it ain't got physical, I can work on the sake of business. But as an OG in here, like, man, how do you stay neutral around so much beef?
Really, ain't none of that shit my business. You gotta think I'm older than those guys, so like a lot of what they beefing about or whatever they issues be, I don't know about, don't care about, because I'm not in the middle of that shit on my day-to-day life. It don't affect me. Like, I try to talk to young guys like, look, man, you guys got an opportunity. Like, right now you got to cherish the moment, because don't throw your life away over some shit that ain't got nothing to do with the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times some of these guys be inheriting their friends' beef.
Yeah.
Like, this your man beef. This ain't even your beef. Like, you ain't had nothing to do with none of this shit. So I think I look at everything from a business perspective. At the end of the day, I'm a businessman. I'm going to be a businessman way longer than I'm going to be anything. I used to be an athlete. At the time, you got to look at it like a business.
Yeah.
Whatever that rapper may be, that's really such and such corporation. Like the Drake Corporation,
right.
The 21 Savage, the Sada Baby, the Big Shine. So you got to hire your team and your staff to help run your corporation where it keep generating funds. All the rest of that shit don't matter, man.
Yeah.
Like, that shit don't matter. Like, when you get an opportunity, you got to take advantage of it. Because I'm able to sit here today, 25 years later, and I'm still doing all right. A lot of them so-called bosses ain't around 25 years later.
That's real.
Like, you can go back and do some research on everybody who said they was a boss 25 years ago and they was getting money, and see them now and be like, oh, that nigga used to be getting money. That nigga ain't nobody. That nigga ain't doing shit. It's about, so just getting the money ain't really nothing. It's maintaining it. Like,
Gotcha.
What you gonna do with it? You gonna be able to keep it? That's what it's about. Like, so make sure your corporation run for a lengthy period of time. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be the motherfucking corporation without a business.
Yeah, man. Talk about what it used to be.
Yeah, you don't want to be motherfucking Payless Shoes, not in business no more.
Now, I know you said like back in when y'all was on y'all rise or doing your thing, y'all was around all like the stars that was popping that we saw outside of Detroit. Like you said, the Noriegas, you know what I'm saying, and Benny Siegel and things of that nature. Had you ever met an artist that you thought were super street by their music, and when you met them in person, they was like, oh no, all that shit was fake?
All of the artists that I've been able to meet and be around was cool. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? They were all great guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, a guy that I've been really impressed with is E40. I like the way he's handled it. I like the way he take care of his business. I like his family sense. But that's what I grew up on, you know.
Gotcha.
So I grew up on E40. Like, I'm from the era where them guys was rapping about what they was living. Like, I could think of some old Click records where they was talking about be about your paper and how they spent their last to quadruple their cash. That's what I can relate to.
Gotcha.
I remember spending my last going to cop and hoping that the plane didn't crash or hoping the bag made it back. So to see E40 transition to this great businessman and the thing he's doing, I respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
The guy Jay Prince out of Houston, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Jay Prince.
Those guys were the guys I looked up to, like Jay Prince, Tony Draper, Master P, people who did something. I mean, granted, the country probably was built on bootleg and liquor, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The Kennedys did a bunch of bullshit, but they transitioned, and then the kids was able to go on and be successful. So them the type of things that I look at.
Gotcha.
Like Ice Cube, I think he's a phenomenal individual based on his body of work from music to be able to transition to films, how his kids doing today. Like, those are the things I'm impressed with. When I see somebody able to take something that they didn't have, create something, and create a better life for the next generation.
Gotcha.
And then to see the next generation excel, that's dope to me. You know, I'm inspired by that. Because to me, each generation should get better. Like, your kids shouldn't have to go through what you went through. Their kids shouldn't have to go through what they went through, and so on and so forth. I think that's how it should be.
Well, so with that being a progressive, Lil Nas X has been the topic of discussion lately with what he brings to music and I guess hip hop, him being gay. And it's probably not even about him being gay, but how he flaunts it, how it's promoted. Do you think Lil Nas X is being used as an attack on little boys and girls to promote homosexuality?
To me personally, I think kids or people are born gay. It's my personal opinion.
Okay.
And I say that because you can tell at a very young age if a little boy is going to be gay or a little girl is going to be gay. It don't got to be learned behavior. Now, I also think it's a lot of people who try, experiment in their sexuality.
Yeah.
So for him to be a gay male, I'm not the person to attack a gay person. I've had companies where the ladies who work for me were gay, and we did great business. We worked fine. I don't got nothing against no gay people, but I'm not the person that want to see it promoted either. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever your sexuality is, that's your sexuality.
Gotcha.
Would I work with somebody who's gay? I have. Like, it's business. Like, what they do in a private time, hey, that's you know. But I don't care to see it, how it's pumped in. When I was a kid, it wasn't damn near okay to be gay. Like, it was one gay kid in school, nobody else. It probably was a bunch of gay people, but it was one openly gay kid that people knew about. But the way that it's pumped on TV today is a reflection of our world and our reality. I mean, it's real. People are gay. Do I like to see it? No, but
because my whole thing is like representation of seeing someone that's like you on TV. You know, for example, for a long time, black people in entertainment, we didn't see people on TV and movies that looked like us. And then when we did get roles, it was roles of a nanny or a butler. And then you push to get more lead roles. And we're still fighting for that equality today. People that are gay aren't there fighting for the same thing. It's like, I turn on TV and he say like, I see a man and a woman kissing, a man and a woman having a family, everything that represents the norm, but it's nobody here represent me. And so now you put two men on here who has a family or two men on here kissing, and now everybody yelling, don't be promoting that gay stuff. You know, so we don't want to see it. But isn't it fair that they have somebody that's on there representing them? And does it seem like it's only standing out to us so much because we don't want to see it? So it seemed like it's being more.
It's probably a little bit of both, you know what I mean? Like,
gotcha.
People are very resistant to change.
Facts.
Like, I just think that's what it is. Like, that's the paradigm. Like, as the world revolving, you getting more and more black people on TV. I mean, if you go back 50, 100 years, it's some white people probably mad. Like, why are they getting so much roles on TV? Yeah. Why is, you know? So it's the same thing for the gays. It's like people resistant to change. People who don't like it, who not accepted to it, is probably like, why is there so much gay stuff on TV? You know what I'm saying? Right. Because it's changed, you know? I don't know where it's going. I might be one of the people that's a little resistant to change because it's not my norm, but absolutely. It's becoming more norm where it doesn't bother me or affect me. Like, I'm not a homophobe or something like that. I don't really care about that. Like,
I think, and I debate this a lot, I'm like, man, why do we even care people are gay? Like, why is it that even a thing? But I think because we in the quote unquote, and I'm using finger quotes, Christian society, country, we grew up with, because there's people who don't even practice Christianity, but they don't like gays. And you be like, well, why do you care? Because, I mean, yeah, in the Bible say a man shouldn't lay with a man as a woman, and a woman should lay with a woman as a man. And usually those are the ones who always been thumping the anti-gay because it's against God. But if you don't have that religion, why do people care? And I think people just adopted that tradition.
I think religion makes people territorial.
Very.
So I try not to get debated in religion because people don't look at the facts, but damn near whatever your grandma was is what you gonna be. And based on where you was born and what country you was in kind of determine your religion.
Facts.
Most people don't go do the research on religions, how it started, where it come from. Whatever Big Mom was, that's damn near what you is. If Big Mom was Christian, you Christian. If she was Muslim, you're Muslim. If you lived in a Buddhist country, you'll be Buddhist.
Yeah.
So you can't, based on how they used to say, oh, you ain't gonna get to heaven, God, or if you Jehovah's Witness, only this amount of people getting into heaven. So it's like, I can't buy into that.
Yeah.
Because based on where you're born, it's going to determine your religion. Who you was raised by kind of determine your religion. So I try not to debate that because most people don't do the research.
You say people believe more than they know.
For sure.
No, for sure.
For sure. I think if people dug deep and did more research, they'll have a different outlook on religion, all religions. I think they all have the same base in the roots and having faith and treating people right. They all kind of have that, though. Like, I've studied a few different religions.
Got you.
So I have my outlook, but.
So with the movie being out and single being out, and we'll get ready to end on this. Which one is more your passion? Is it still music that bleeds through your blood, or is it film? Like, where do Streetlordz Rook, like, where your heart when you wake up in the morning, like, this is where my mind is between the two?
Man, I'm a businessman. Like, I enjoy creating projects and see them come together.
Gotcha.
It's not so much, I enjoy making music. I enjoy making film. I enjoy doing business outside. I enjoy doing real estate.
Gotcha.
I enjoy owning medical facilities. So I enjoy just doing business. Where I'm going to end up, I have no idea, because if somebody would have told me some of the things that I'm doing today that I'd be doing 10 years ago, that I'll be doing it, I wouldn't have thought I'd be doing it.
Gotcha.
So wherever the wind blows, it takes me, and I can learn and do something that has potential to make some money that don't jeopardize my character, then I may be doing it. Like, I live like, I ain't gonna do nothing that I can't wake up and look in the mirror.
Gotcha.
Whatever that may be, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do nothing that I can't wake up and look myself in the mirror and be proud of myself. So that's how I live by.
Well, I tell you what, man, one more flip is out. You know what I'm saying? The new record, what was it called again?
Don't trust these
Don't
hoes.
Trust These Hoes is out right now. I'm excited, and I appreciate, man, finally get to sit down and meet you in person. We've been talking for the last few weeks. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that story, man, and hopefully, man, I can get you more often when we come back, man. Drop some more of them gems.
Oh, man, for sure. Just anytime, man. You got my number. Just hit me up.
Yeah, man, let me come do a read for a movie or something, man. Let me play a role.
Man, I'm going to post the cast, and hopefully at the end of the month, we'll be going into pre-production. I'm going to release Cheddar Boys in October, early November.
Okay.
And then right after that, I plan on going in production of another movie I got called 5 Minutes, and then I got some other stuff I'm working on too. So we just trying to stay busy, man. Keep it going.
Okay, man. Well, don't forget about me and your glory, man.
I got you, man.
Hey, till we meet again, Streetlordz.
Thanks, man.